Good morning to you guys. How to raise 500,000 bucks. You know, a lot of people would like to think that the best and easiest way to raise 500,000 bucks for your small business would be to seek an investor, to go looking out for an investor. But you know, how many people do get investors? How many people can go out there? And the issue with investors is this, guys. Investors want evidence that you can run a business. Investors want evidence that you can start small, and most entrepreneurs have never started anything, and they sit down there to draft a pile of papers. They call it the business plan. Then they hope they will walk inside a bank with a cap in their hand, and you will walk away with 500,000 bucks. It makes sense on paper, it makes sense in thought, but in reality, that's not exactly what happens. So, how do you raise 500,000 bucks? The smartest of all entrepreneurs walk around with this question. What is the problem? First step, what is the problem? You go around looking for a problem, because why? The human race is plagued by so many problems in their lives, and any man that can walk in here with a solution, the solution that I call value, your value proposition, and say to the customer, this is how I can change your life, the customer is definitely going to want to listen to you. The customer is definitely going to want to establish a relationship with you. And if you allow the customer themselves will want to maintain the relationship by paying. Then, you know, money comes as a residue. I say a lot of this. So here's the key. You go out, you find a problem. So let's say you find a problem. Okay, if you want to be at the low end and sell something that's worth what? 20 rands. It's going to be a battle for you to get 500,000 bucks if you are not as big as ShopRite, if you are not as big as President Supermarket. But in your case, you want to choose. You want to say, do I want to be at the lower end, or I want to be at the higher end? And it's much easier when you are at the higher end, because what it literally means is that you are solving the most painful of problems. Any entrepreneur who solves the most painful problems gets paid a lot. This is basic logic. So what do? Let us say, for example, you go out there and you identify problem A, and you figure out that you look in the market and you figure out that I could solve problem A. Remember, it doesn't have to be a novel problem. It doesn't have to be something from the moon. The solution hasn't got to be something that's, you know, totally new that the human race hasn't heard of before. So problem A, to solve problem A, I will need 5,000 bucks as my selling price to the customer. Then remember, you don't have to, even if it's a product, you don't have to always start a product business by having to acquire the machinery and set up a factory. You can be a reseller. What is reselling? Reselling could mean that I go to a business and I say to them, listen, this is what I'm doing, and if I can have your product, I can become your reseller, but this is how it's going to work. Then you work out the terms of your relationship with the customer. So what happens? You've got problem A needs 5,000 bucks. You go to the customer, you say, okay, I need 5,000 bucks from you. So what does it mean? That means that you are going to have to look for 20 customers who will pay you 5,000 bucks for you to have 100,000 bucks, right? So if you are going to have 40 customers, you're going to have 200,000 bucks. 60 customers, you've got 300,000 bucks. 80 customers, you've got 400,000 rands, and 100 customers, you've got what? You've got 500,000 bucks. It's as easy as that. It's not very complicated, because a lot of people sit down and say, okay, I'm perfecting the business plan, then I'm going to find a man or a woman who's got a lot of money, and they're going to fund my business plan. Guys, in reality, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. The business plan it's a very good document that makes a lot of sense, and but in the world of commercial enterprise, it doesn't really. Very few business plans become a success in the real world. Because why? A business plan is just a bundle of papers, but it is your job to go out there and look out for a problem that will cost 5,000 bucks. It might be that when you get to the customer, you buy it at 5,000 bucks, but you sell it at 8,000 bucks. Then you still make your margin. You still make your 5,000 bucks as your margin, depending on your calculations. But again, you'll then have to go out to your supplier and say, let's build a relationship in which we work out this way. When the customer pay, I mean, many companies are willing to give out products for demo purposes, and you can have the one product for a demo purpose, and you just have to be trustworthy to them. How you build the trust with them is going to be up to you as a relationship builder. Remember, you are a relationship builder with the customer. You are a relationship builder with the supplier. So that is entirely your job. Building relationships is entirely your job. So you cannot escape that. So you've got it. You identify the problem, you bring a value proposition, then you take it to the customer. The customer does what? The customer pays you. You might find a customer that will pay you for a lifetime. It might be a once-off thing where you raise 500,000 bucks. Then you can use that money to then expand your business, to then grow your business into what you want it to be. There you have it, guys. Go raise the 500,000 bucks.